A few years ago, I met a 72-year-old man who looked me straight in the eye and said, "Dr. Jain, I've been doing it the same way for half a century. But lately, something feels off." He wasn't sick. He wasn't taking new medication. But something quiet, something hidden, was working against him. What was it? Not the act of pleasure itself, but how he'd been doing it. And he had no idea that his long-standing routine was quietly affecting his circulation, his prostate, and even his emotional connection to pleasure. I'm Dr. Sophia Jain, a urologist who spent decades helping men over 60 rebuild energy, confidence, and sexual vitality without shame, pills, or guesswork. And what I'm about to share may surprise you. For years, men have been told that masturbation is harmless, even healthy. And yes, in many cases it is. But after 60, when hormones shift, blood flow slows, and nerve sensitivity changes, even good habits can turn against you if done the wrong way. Stick with me until the end, because I'll reveal 7 mistakes older men commonly make during masturbation and how to fix them before they cause deeper damage. And here's the warning you don't want to ignore. Mistake number 6 is something almost every man does without realizing it. And if you get it wrong, it can slowly damage your nerves and permanently change how your body experiences pleasure for years. Before we begin, tell us in the comments now your age and where you're watching from. We read and reply to every single comment, so drop your thoughts below. So let's begin with the first mistake. A modern trap that's quietly rewiring men's brains and numbing their ability to feel real pleasure. Mistake number 1, relying on pornography for stimulation. Over the years, I've listened to hundreds of men, many in their late 60s and 70s, share a similar story. They say things like, "Dr. Jain, I don't feel much anymore," or "It takes forever to get there." They assume it's just age catching up with them, but often it isn't. You see, when you rely on fast, high-intensity adult content to get aroused, you're giving your brain a dose of stimulation it was never designed to handle. Every swipe, every clip floods your dopamine system, the part responsible for pleasure and motivation, with unnatural surges. Over time, that system begins to dull itself down. The brain adapts by lowering sensitivity, making real-life touch feel flat. When you're 25, your brain can rebound quickly. But past 60, that resilience fades. What was once thrilling starts to feel mechanical. The brain's reward system stops responding the way it used to, and that can lead to deeper emotional disconnection, not just from intimacy, but from yourself. This kind of overstimulation creates what I call pleasure fatigue. You might still be able to perform physically, but the spark, the excitement, the depth, it all starts to fade. Many men blame their bodies, thinking they've simply grown too old. But in truth, the body's fine. It's the brain that's exhausted. The good news is that the brain can relearn, and your body can respond again, if you give yourself the chance. That's why my prescription is simple. Take a break from artificial visual stimulation. Reconnect with touch, imagination, or memory, and let your senses gradually awaken. It may feel dull at first, but give it time. Within days, you'll notice subtle sparks of sensitivity returning, the first signs that your body is remembering how to feel again. The first mistake might make you rethink what you've been watching, but the next one isn't about screens at all. It's about where and how your body experiences these moments. And most men never realize the hidden consequences. Mistake number 2, doing it while sitting on the toilet. Now, this might sound harmless, even practical. Many men tell me, "Dr. Jain, it's just convenient. Private, quiet, quick." But convenience can sometimes hide consequences. As men age, one of the most vital systems to protect is circulation. Blood flow is the lifeline of male health. It keeps the prostate nourished, supports strong erections, and maintains hormonal balance. But when you sit for long periods, especially in that hunched over position common on the toilet, you compress blood vessels in the pelvic region. Imagine pinching a garden hose while water's running through it. The flow becomes restricted, pressure builds, and the surrounding area weakens. The same thing happens in your pelvic floor. The prostate gets squeezed, nerves are deprived of oxygen, and over time, you might notice subtle issues like slower urinating, post-strip, and even mild aching in the groin area. It's not something you feel overnight. It's a slow erosion that builds quietly with repetition. Years of that position can weaken the very muscles that support your sexual function. But the good news is, this isn't permanent. Your body responds when you give it space and freedom. So what's the fix? Change your environment. Move away from cramped, seated postures. Try reclining or even standing in a relaxed position. Give your pelvic area space to breathe. It's not just about comfort, it's about restoring blood flow, oxygen, and vitality to one of the most important parts of your body. And here's a deeper truth. Your body is incredibly adaptive. Once you stop compressing it, healing begins. Circulation improves, sensation returns, and even your energy levels can lift. So if you've been doing it sitting down, today's the day to stop. Stand, stretch, or recline. It's one of the simplest ways to protect your prostate for the long haul. But improving posture is just the beginning. There's another mistake many men overlook, one that doesn't involve the body at all, yet quietly teaches it to feel less pleasure over time.
Mistake number 3, rushing the experience. This one might surprise you because it's not about what you're doing, it's about how you're doing it. Over the years, I've spoken with countless men who say the same thing. Dr. Jain, I just want to get it over with. They treat self-pleasure like a chore, a box to check off before the day ends or begins. Here's the truth. When you rush, your body doesn't truly experience pleasure. It experiences pressure, tension, and disconnection. Heart rate spikes too quickly. Blood vessels constrict, and the hormonal benefits that make climax restorative, oxytocin, dopamine, serotonin, never fully arrive. You might finish, but instead of feeling satisfaction or energy, you feel emptiness or fatigue. Worse, this pattern teaches your body that pleasure is fast, shallow, and disconnected. Over time, sensitivity diminishes. Interest in intimacy can fade. You might even start blaming age, thinking this is just how it is now, when in reality, it's the habit of urgency quietly reshaping your experience. The fix is surprisingly simple, but it requires patience. Slow down, breathe, and be fully present. Treat each session as a moment to reconnect with your body. There's no finish line, only sensation, curiosity, and awareness. Pause. Notice every detail. Let your nervous system relax and allow pleasure to be restorative, not rushed. Even just a few minutes of mindfulness during self-pleasure can retrain your brain and bring back sensitivity you thought was gone. Most men overlook it, but the key to real male vitality isn't just hormones or blood flow. It's a hidden muscle system. Neglect these muscles and everything else struggles to function properly. Mistake number 4. Ignoring the pelvic floor. If you've never heard this term before, don't worry, you're not alone. The pelvic floor is a group of muscles that act like a hammock supporting your bladder, prostate, and sexual organs. Think of it as the engine room of your lower body. When it's strong, you have better control, stronger blood flow, and more intense sensations. When it's weak, things begin to slip, literally and figuratively. I once had a patient, a retired firefighter in his late 60s, who told me, "Dr. Jain, I still feel young in my head, but my body doesn't follow." He exercised, ate clean, and took his vitamins. But what he didn't realize was that decades of sitting, driving, office work, and even long hours in front of the TV had shut down his pelvic floor. Those muscles had gone dormant. When he touched himself, he wasn't engaging them. He was bearing down, pushing, putting pressure on the prostate instead of supporting it. That constant strain weakened his internal stability and slowly eroded his sensitivity. If this sounds familiar, don't worry. Your pelvic floor can be reactivated. Start small. The easiest exercise, the same subtle squeeze you'd use to stop a stream of urine. Hold for a few seconds, then release. Do it during the day while sitting or standing. No one will even notice. Over time, this builds strength and awareness in the muscles that matter most. And when you combine this with slower, intentional touch, your sensitivity and stamina can improve dramatically. It's not just about performance. It's about reconnecting with the physical center of your masculinity. You're retraining your body to support you again, literally from the ground up. Remember, your pelvic floor isn't just about sex. It's about posture, bladder control, and confidence. So take this as your reminder. Engage your foundation before everything else. Now, let's tackle a question that confuses more men than you might think. How often is too much, and how often is too little? Pushing either extreme can quietly sap your energy, disrupt hormones, and leave you feeling off balance. Finding the right rhythm can make a world of difference in how alive and strong you feel. Most men don't realize this yet. It's not just about how often you touch yourself, it's about how your body reacts each time. Once you get this right, your energy, sensitivity, and overall vitality can improve dramatically.
Mistake number 5, masturbation frequency, too much or too little. This one trips up more men than you'd think. Some worry they're doing it too often. Others haven't touched themselves in months or even years and wonder if that's the problem. Both extremes can quietly sabotage your vitality. When frequency is too high, driven by habit, boredom, or unresolved tension, your body can't fully recover. Energy drops, the prostate can become irritated, and sensitivity diminishes. What used to be pleasure slowly turns into routine, leaving you disconnected from your own body. On the other hand, when masturbation stops completely, maybe because of medication, health concerns, or the belief that I'm too old for this, the body also suffers. Sexual arousal isn't just about desire. It's a form of circulation. Blood flow nourishes the nerves, keeps tissue healthy, and maintains erectile strength. Long gaps without stimulation can lead to atrophy, fading desire, and a subtle closing of the door to intimacy. So, what's the sweet spot? For most men over 60, 1 to 2 times per week, done with presence and attention, is enough to keep circulation flowing, hormones balanced, and nerves alive. It's not about following rules. It's about paying attention to your own body. Many men over 60 miss the subtle signals, fatigue, tension, or a drop in sensation that quietly tell them when enough is enough. Learn to tune in. Treat each session as a moment of connection, not just a task to get through. And now comes one of the most common mistakes of all, one almost every man does without realizing it. Get this wrong, and it can quietly damage your nerves and change how your body experiences pleasure for years. Mistake number 6, using too much pressure or force. Here's a truth most men don't realize. As you age, the nerves in your penis become much more delicate. Many men instinctively respond to decreased sensitivity by gripping tighter, pressing harder, or relying on extra force to feel the same sensations they once did. It seems harmless at first, even logical, but over time, this habit quietly wreaks havoc. Repeated aggressive friction or intense squeezing can create tiny tears in the tissue, reduce elasticity, and sometimes even lead to scarring beneath the surface. Over the years, this may cause curvature, reduce blood flow, or discomfort during arousal. The worst part is, it doesn't happen overnight. It's a slow, almost invisible erosion, one you may not notice until the changes have already taken hold. And here's the hidden danger. When your body feels like it has to fight for pleasure, your nervous system starts associating touch with stress rather than reward. That mental pattern alone can dull sensitivity, making it harder to experience real pleasure, not just in solo moments, but with a partner too. The fix is deceptively simple, but it takes patience. Lighten your touch. Focus on sensation, not intensity. Move slowly. Let your body respond naturally instead of forcing it. Over time, sensitivity returns, arousal becomes easier, and pleasure feels deeper without risking lasting damage. Remember, gentleness is not weakness. It's protection. It's the only way to preserve your nerves, your body's natural response, and your ability to truly feel for years to come. Once your body begins to respond this way, you're ready to explore a deeper layer, something beyond technique, something that connects mind, heart, and body in a way most men have forgotten exists. Mistake number 7, masturbating without emotion, connection, or intention. This is the one most men don't even notice, and it's often the most quietly damaging. It's not about how you do it. how often, or how hard. It's about whether your heart is really in it. Over time, many men slip into autopilot. Self-pleasure becomes mechanical, a habit done out of routine, boredom, or as a quiet escape from stress or loneliness. It loses its feeling. The nervous system starts to learn the wrong lesson, that pleasure can exist without purpose, without meaning. The results aren't just emotional, they're physical too. You might still climax, but the hormones that make pleasure restorative, oxytocin, dopamine, serotonin, don't fully release. Sensitivity dulls, emotional connection fades. Even your brain begins linking pleasure with emptiness instead of fulfillment. Here's what I tell my patients. Even when you're alone, touch can be meaningful. Treat it as a chance to honor your body, to reconnect with the life that still flows through you. Slow down. Breathe. Appreciate your body instead of rushing or feeling shame. Explore every sensation with curiosity, with intention. When approached this way, masturbation transforms from a simple physical act into a tool for healing and reconnection. It rebuilds confidence, awakens sensation, and reminds you, no matter your age, that your body still matters, still responds, still has the capacity to feel deep pleasure and satisfaction. Now that we've walked through all 7 mistakes, it's worth taking a step back. When you look closely, every one of these habits, relying on pornography, poor posture, rushing, neglecting the pelvic floor, doing too much or too little, applying too much pressure, or disconnecting emotionally, has one thing in common: disconnection. It's not age, it's not desire, it's not even your partner. It's losing touch with your own body, your own pleasure, and your own vitality. The great news? Reconnection is always possible. Your body is still alive. It still responds. It still deserves attention, care, and respect. Even when things feel muted right now, even if your body takes a little longer to respond, the potential for renewed sensitivity, energy, and deep satisfaction is still there. Start with small, intentional steps. Be gentler. Slow down. Relearn the map of your body with curiosity instead of autopilot. Pay attention to sensation rather than performance. Pause, breathe, notice, explore, and above all, believe that connection, both with yourself and, if you choose, with others, is still very much possible. I've seen it countless times. Men in their 60s, 70s, even early 80s reclaim vitality, intimacy, and confidence once they stop treating aging as an ending and start seeing it as a shift, a chance to move, feel, and connect in a new way. You can do the same. This chapter of your life isn't about what's behind you. It's about what you choose to create now, with awareness, pride, and pleasure fully intact. Remember, your best years aren't behind you. They're happening right now, in every mindful breath, every touch, every moment of curiosity. This is your chance to reclaim your quiet power. Your body, your mind, and your heart still deserve attention. And when you honor them, strength, vitality, and satisfaction aren't just possible, they're inevitable. And here's something most men never realize. Aging doesn't have to mean dulling or shrinking or losing connection. It can mean evolving, becoming wiser, more attuned, and more fully alive than ever before. Now, we want to hear from you. Since turning 60, have you noticed any changes in how your body responds during intimacy or self-pleasure? Maybe sensitivity feels lower, stamina isn't what it used to be, or certain habits just don't work anymore. I want to hear from you. What's the biggest challenge you faced, and what's one thing you'd like to improve? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your experience might help another man realize he's not alone and remind all of us that it's never too late to reconnect with our bodies and our pleasure.